Deputy Joan Collins, please.
Thank you. Taoiseach, I want to use my question today to raise the very serious and escalating situation facing workers in Tesco. In recent weeks, Tesco has decided to take the extraordinary action of bypassing their workers' union mandate and unilaterally imposing terms of a new contract. These terms, if accepted, would mean a pay cut of more than 15%, as well as an attack on terms and conditions for the company's longest-serving workers. And this is only the beginning. Tesco's union-busting activities are part of a broader plan known as Project Black, which is drawn up by a specialist international legal team called Eversheds. It aims to get rid of 1,200 of the most secured and well-paid jobs in the company, critically undermining the union in the process. If this plan succeeds, it will be a big step towards bringing Tesco into line with the low-hour, low-wage and insecure employment that is rampant across the retail sector. And the company tends to enforce these changes by bullying their workers, trying to turn them against each other and disciplining those who speak out. This is both deeply worrying and unnecessary. Taoiseach, Tesco is no pauper. Research estimates suggest that the company makes between €200 and €250 million a year in profits in Ireland. In fact, only a few years ago, Tesco was calling Ireland Treasure Island in its internal documents, a clear indication of the big money it made here. In recent days in Britain, it has agreed to shell out £3.7 billion sterling to buy food wholesale company Booker, and the company plans to pay dividends to shareholders at the same time it is imposing cuts on its workers. As I said, Tesco is no pauper, Taoiseach, but it is a serious player. In fact, it is the largest private sector employer in Ireland. What happens in the coming days and the weeks to 11,000 retail workers in Tesco should be of high priority for us all in this House. It will also tell a story about the reality of work in modern Ireland. The figures show Ireland is second in the OECD for low pay at 25% of the workforce. You made a point about yesterday's Silk report, but it also stated there were 105,000 people who are working poor in Ireland, in employment, but still in poverty. Hundreds of thousands of people in this country go to work every day in low-paying jobs with insecure terms and unpredictable hours, struggling to get by day to day. In many cases, the public subsidises this. In Tesco, for example, 10% of the workforce are on family income supplement. So I ask the Taoiseach today, will you condemn these latest activities of Tesco? Will you defend the rights of workers to be represented in their workplace and not to be bypassed by super-rich multinational corporations trying to unilaterally impose terms? And will you take action about the low-paid crisis in this country, which already impacts on 1/4 of our workers, according to the OECD, and threatens to escalate further under your government?
Thank you, Deputy. Taoiseach.
Thank you, Deputy. A number of points I would make in relation to the issue that you've raised with a particular firm. First of all, clearly workers have a right to be consulted in relation to any change in their contract. I mean, that goes without saying. It's a basic principle, and we want to see that observed. The second point is that in this country we have the Labour Relations Commission, and we have the Workplace Relations Commission, and we have the Labour Court, and clearly we would want to see these mechanisms being used to the full in a situation such as you describe. I will also ask the Minister to liaise with you afterwards in relation to any particular actions that may be taken in relation to the situation that you have outlined. But I think the general point is that what we are seeing in Ireland at present is a huge increase in employment. We want to see well-paid jobs. We're seeing that across the country. We're seeing a huge reduction in unemployment from 15.7% down to just over 7% now. And clearly, we want to continue. We launched our new jobs action plan just this week. We want to see that improvement being reflected right across the country, and we want to see well-paying jobs being available for families, for individuals and for families, because that is the best way out of poverty. And clearly you've outlined a situation that you've concerns about in relation to Tesco, but as I say, in the first instance, I think it is for discussion between employers and employees, and we have well-tested labour relations mechanisms available where there is conflict, and I would hope that they would be used.
You're ignoring the fact that the jobs debate is not simply about quantity, it's about quality. It's not just about setting up commissions, we actually need robust legislation. And this government is allowing us to become a low-pay Ireland. Right now, according to the OECD, 1 in 4 Irish workers are low-paid. Yesterday, Silk reported that there are more than 100,000 working poor in this country. In fact, the same report said consistent poverty for children in low-parent families, which are disproportionately retail workers, has risen to 26.2%. This is before we get into the numbers who are underemployed, the widespread prevalence of short contracts and low insecure hours. I'm asking you again, Taoiseach, what action will you take over this? Tesco is one of the few employers in the retail sector that still has thousands of decent jobs where workers earn enough to live on. It has those jobs because workers organised. Research shows in the retail sector that those in unions earn around 30% more than those who are not. I just urge the workers in Tesco to stay strong, stay together, and remember that if the company is given the right to unilaterally impose terms on one group today, it be another group tomorrow. I'll just finish on this. This week is the 70th anniversary of the death of Jim Larkin, and I'll just end on the slogan that an injury to one is an injury to all, and that message should go out to every worker who's fighting these issues.